Hello there. If you're here on this video and if you're here on my channel, I'm sure you've been very familiar with my voice by now. But you've probably wondered who's the girl behind all of those videos. It's me. And there was one person I actually met in real life, or not really real life, but on one of the trainings that I've had. She was she used to watch my videos and she found some of my posts on Reddit and she found me. We met on one of the trainings that I attended and left because of a better opportunity. I'm still with the other opportunity that I exchanged that one for up to today. So anyway, that was last year. So anyway, I'd like to welcome you to my 100%, 100,000% totally free course on how to become a virtual assistant. I know that a lot of people have DM'd me on Reddit about how to become one. And no, I'm not offering this as a course. There is no premium layer. This is totally 100,000% free. This is actually dedicated to Ate Kathy or Ate Katz. She approached me that she wanted to become a virtual assistant. She used to hold a rather powerful position in one of the more prestigious in real life market research firms in the Philippines. Um, and she had a career veer and now she wants to become a virtual assistant. So this course was created for her, but you are being treated to it because I don't know, I just woke up today, watched a TikTok video, and I had an inspiration. Although that TikTok video probably served as a bit of a rage bait for me, but here I am mobilized to do something because of rage, but that's fine. So you'll probably get to know me more. And you'll probably get to know this black shirt or hopefully another black shirt in the coming days a little more because I will be introducing some of my videos or getting on the video and explaining a few things. And I will like to wear a black shirt to each one, period. Just because. So, anyway, and the series will give you the basics of becoming a virtual assistant. I will also teach you a few things that I learned along the way. And basically, I hope this will help you. And I hope that this will get you set on your way on becoming a virtual assistant and working from home. It's so convenient to work from home. It keeps you away from the inconvenience of the storms, as we recently experienced. It's the 27th of July, and last week was a huge series of storms in the Philippines. And working from home sure beats all of the slogging through the rain just to get to work. So, hopefully, my videos will be of help to you and will get you set on your way to finding your niche, your field in the world of working from home. So, see you in the rest of the video. Welcome to the series of how to become a virtual assistant. First things first, what is a virtual assistant? So, a virtual assistant is a remote assistant for various tasks. So, if you might know already, there are a lot of what they call niches for different types of virtual assistants, which we will explain in a slide in the coming slide. So, um, it is a remote professional who provides administrative, technical, or creative support to businesses or individuals. Essentially, you're somebody who assists an individual or a business to drive forward their goals. But you work remotely. So you work online with hours matching the clients. So yes, time converters are your best friend. You could be working Australian hours, more commonly US hours. It could either be Eastern, Central, Mountain, not much sa Mountain, but it's usually Eastern, Central, or Pacific hours. And you work online to match those hours. And also, aside from Australia and the US, there's UK. There are also European clients that hire virtual assistants, but in general, it's US, UK, and Australia. And then you specialize based on personal skills. Your niche could be executive assistance, marketing, or sales. So um, these are the common niches that help serve clients remotely. But it's you will find out that there's a whole exhaustive list of types of jobs that you could work as a virtual assistant. Career paths and niches. You've heard the word niche, I'm sure, especially if you hang out on Reddit. So, um, a lot of people might want to ask, do you really have to specialize? Truth be told, I've been working as a virtual assistant for over over 19 years. It's hitting 20 years by now. I will have to say that I didn't really have to specialize. I have a very wide skill set, but the thing is I'm good in a lot of them. Um, you don't really have to specialize, but you really have to get good. And what is a niche? A niche is a subfield of being a virtual assistant that you could hone in on if you want to. For example, if you want to hone in on sales, you can specialize in that. Or if you want to hone in on marketing, that's another niche. Or for example, some people are started with assisting real estate agents, brokers, and they they got good in that field and that became their niche. That's also one of them. There's are other people who specialize in working with life coaches, things like that, or big businesses. Um, it really depends if you want to double down and really hone in on a niche or not. Like I did. I don't really mind whom I'm helping as long as I feel a kinship with the person and I feel like I can be of help, assistance, and be a blessing to that person. I'm good with it. So, there. So, do you really have to specialize? It depends on what you want to do with yourself. Next, what are the different niches? These are the most usual administrative as an EA. I'm an EA, actually, an executive assistant. Um, there's the creative niche, so you could either be a video editor, a graphic editor, or a Photoshop expert. Or you could be the creative in a social media management pipeline. Then there's marketing, of course, for those who are keen on working with digital marketing agencies. There's sales. I'm sure you're aware of what sales are. Usually, sales agents earn a lot on commissions. That's the beautiful thing about being in sales. But for those who are averse to talking to people, upselling, sales is not a good thing for them. So it's actually, I'm not a fan of sales. So there. And then for the technical, there's web design and development, and then there's software development. And oh, I forgot to mention that there is a list of questions and answers on the description below, and you can read up if you want to do a deep dive. There are Chat GPT search results, so you can work with those answer sheets from Chat GPT that I've shared. So yes, there's something for everyone, but base talent is important, but so is grit. The more important thing in becoming a VA or virtual assistant is grit. You have to be able to survive. Well, not just survive the daily grind, but you see, every person has quirks, and so will your clients. You might find out that the client has bad days. Of course, nobody's perfect. The client will have bad days. So will you. So you will find that there are challenges to surmount. Business, not just business challenges, but more importantly, there's actually interpersonal challenges at play everywhere. There might even be office politics. So yes, your talent is important, but so is your grit and your capacity to be resilient in the field. So, what do clients need from their virtual assistant? Clients want reliable, self managed VAs who communicate well, handle workflows efficiently, and are skilled with tools, plus bonus points for initiative and AI know how. Actually, yes. Years back, we were scared that AI will replace our jobs. Now, if you have the skills to augment, to be able to direct AI properly, you will be very valuable. So, clients want reliable, self managed help. They need VAs who can work independently, meet deadlines, and follow through without needing handholding. Because clients want their businesses to run without them, and they want people who have initiative and can manage themselves. Communication skills matter to clients. Being a remote job, clear, professional, and proactive communication builds trust and prevents misunderstandings, especially with remote teams. You will find that chat is very prevalent in as a means of communication, but more than anything, a lot of misunderstandings can arise in chat. So if you are not very clear with how you communicate, or you are not very dexterous with using certain tools, like for example, voice messages are very uso or are very popular in use in Facebook Messenger, you will find that there are also similar tools in, say, Slack or Discord. There are similar tools that you can make use of. Another tool that you can definitely make use of in order to avoid misunderstandings is Loom or Screen Rec. It is a platform that will help you show your screen while you talk. It is a great way to clear out misunderstandings because you can show on your PC, you can show your client or your teammate that this is what's happening in my PC, this is what I'm doing, this is currently my challenge. You are able to show with your screen and with video exactly what you're doing, what you're having trouble with, and it helps clear communications. So, um, be familiar with the tools that will help you communicate better. So, I mentioned Loom. It is accessible via loom.com. Also, Screen Rec, and I will mention these tools in the description. Tech savvy VAs are highly valued. When you are dexterous or when you are very familiar with technology, you will find that it is easier for you not just to get hired, but also to not just upskill but be promoted, because you become very valuable to the client and you become very skilled at what you do, because everything that we do in the virtual assistant world is based on technology. So tech savvy VAs are way better than those who are very good at, say for example, accounting, but they cannot shift platforms easily. It's difficult for clients to want to keep them if the client does not does if the client has to teach at every single term. It's very difficult for clients to see the value in a VA if tech is a blocker. So that is a very crucial skill for a VA to have, tech savviness. And yes, it's not just CRMs and calendars. Um, Definitely, for example, if you're very niched, a very niched VA would be an accounting VA. If, for example, you're just stuck with QuickBooks, you can't do Zero, you can't do the other types of accounting tools, it will be difficult for the client to want to keep you because you're stuck with one platform. So learn how to be very, very skilled in the different tools that are available for your field. And next section is the mindset shift from employee to virtual assistant. The first thing is you now own your time. The employee mindset is that I work when I'm told. But when you become a virtual assistant, I control my schedule. Um, Not everyone has the control of their schedule. Um, but you do have the luxury of targeting which you want to work with. You can work with Australians if you want day shift. You can work with UK people if you want mid shift, and or you can work with US people if you prefer a night shift. I personally prefer Pacific, which I'm working now, because I like waking up at 11 and then starting work at 12:30. It's my choice and I prefer doing that. So yes, there is a certain control in the schedule, and you have the pick of what countries to work with, what countries to target for your main and for your sideline. And there is some truth to being able to control your schedule. And then next is, it is up to you to think like the business owner. Hindi It's not about thinking like tagapagmana ng kumpanya. Hindi yun. It's more like you understand that you are there to help them expand their business. You help them grow their business. So you're not there to just wait for instructions. You're not there to do that. You're there to provide solutions. You're there to provide ways to help their companies grow. So it is up to you to think, how can I be of value to this company? You're not just doing tasks for them. You are offering a service that would help them grow. You want to become an asset to the company, and that also becomes your portfolio, becoming an asset to different companies around the globe. So it is up to you to think creatively on how the business should run, how the business should grow, what are strategies that would help your client be better at what they do, help them expand their business. Next is get comfortable with uncertainty. This is the very hard truth of being a virtual assistant. We're not government employees that get into the job at the age of 21 or 22 and then retire at 60. In a lifetime, we could have as much as 50 clients, even more. Because sometimes clients' situations change. Like, for example, one client is a startup. They have the capital to do it now, but in 6 months, they might have run out. Did the company make anything? Maybe at that point, they won't, and they'll have to let you go. So, going back to the previous slide, it is up to you to help the company grow. And yes, it is up to you to create your own stability. Do you want your company to go beyond the 6 months? Then find ways to be valuable to your role, to be valuable to the company, to help the company bring in the sales and the numbers that will help you stay in that job. Also, there's somebody that I admire. He's actually a web developer. He's one of the very few Webflow web developers that I've met in my lifetime. Um, I like the fact that at his age, he was able to build not just an emergency fund, but also businesses for himself. He's just a quiet, humble guy, but he was he was very wise with how he advised me to build an emergency fund. I'm still in the process of that, by the way. And this is how you create your own stability and security. Be wise with your finances, because let's face it, being a virtual assistant affords you a lot of things. It affords you a huge income, and a lot of that income could be pushed towards the emergency fund, which will help you build that security and stability that you desire. Shout out to Rocky. And then another mindset shift that you have to have. I don't do this for myself. I don't enroll in courses. I don't get certifications. Why? Because put me in front of software, I'll be able to learn it in 10 minutes flat. And but that's the thing. In spite of the fact that I don't have certifications, my growth, my learnings, they have helped me secure a lot of jobs, because for a lot of jobs and a lot of companies, what's important to them is the experience in what they're looking for. So for example, they want go high level go high level experience. If you have a year of training, or if you have a year in working with that platform, you will be able to secure a job, because as long as you can show a portfolio, as long as you can show dexterity in the platform, you will be able to give proof that you have experience in it and you are competent in it. So yes, don't just invest in courses like this. I'm sure that you are investing the time to listen to me ramble on and on about how to become a virtual assistant, but not just the courses, not just the certifications, but invest in actual learning. Um, for example, I was training somebody how to use Notion, Airtable, and I will say that learning is a desire thing. If you really want to be able to expand in a certain field, if you really want to be able to learn a software, a platform, you will have the desire for it, you will have the passion for it, and you will do whatever it takes in order to learn. And you will understand the importance of learning, because you know that you are investing in yourself, you are investing in that next job, you are investing in that job security by being a very important help to somebody out there. That is what a virtual assistant is, a help and a blessing to somebody out there in the world. And yes, so from employee identity to VA identity, you shift your mindset from I work for someone to I work with clients. Um, Personally, I only call my boss the person that I work with for over 8 hours in a day. Um, I will only call my boss somebody that I am indubitably loyal to. And that the rest of them, the people that I work with on a minor basis, on a minor capacity, like I'm not on the clock for them, I work on projects for them, I call them clients. And I have a lot of very prized clients. But I will say that I have had very few bosses in my life. And I will say that the boss that I have right now is probably the best boss I've ever had in my existence as a VA. So the core skill sets for virtual assistants. If you go back to the description below, there is a set of questions and answers, and the answers are provided by my searches for this series. So for this lesson or this episode, they are all there. They are provided there. So if you want a deep dive, you can definitely learn from the Chat GPT results that I have below. So, what core skill sets are there for virtual assistants? For me, you need to start with the basics. You won't be able to assist a client with, say, a complex interpolation of the schedules of board members from across the globe if you don't even know how to do a calendar meet. So, there was one time that um, I had to help a board of directors meet at a certain time, somewhere in Europe, somewhere in Singapore, somewhere in Australia, and somewhere in the US. It was very tricky. So I did the Apple principle. Give them three options, because focusing people into three options helps them decide faster. And then I put a survey out on Airtable, because I love Airtable. And then I was able to gather the most votes, and we were able to create that meeting, which happened on I think it was on the US time zone, because that was what a lot of people voted for. And we were able to get it done. So, what were the basics that I used? My technical know-how of forms from Airtable. I could also do it on Google Forms, but I preferred Airtable. So The technical know-how of forms, the usage of time zone clocks like worldtimebuddy.com, and also the basic principle in psychology that allows people to decide faster. The three options rule. The people don't want to be bombarded or inundated with choices. It's more difficult for a person to make a choice if they are presented with 20 options than if they are presented with 3. This is why Apple has flourished. And I always call that the Apple principle because they were able to run with that kind of principle. And you start with with the mindset that if you are faced with the task or the problem of giving a certain number of people certain options in order to make a decision, always use the 3 option rule or the smallest number of options rule so that you can arrive at your task's goal faster. Focus on your strengths. Um, if you will take a look at that sheet that ChatGPT gave, that's a whole lot of skill sets and tasks. But focus on what you are strong in. For example, I'm very strong in creating websites. So nowadays, even though I'm good in a lot of things, I will say that I've finally honed in on 2 things. Executive assistance, which allows me to not be bored because it's a whole lot of different tasks. And the other thing that I'm focusing on is in building websites. Those are the 2 things that I know that I will really flourish in. And they allow me to leverage exactly what I'm strong in and not need to look elsewhere. So focus on your strengths. Next is systematize what you do. I will say that working with my current boss, he has taught me so much from the use of AI to the use of Notion. And personally, I love using Airtable. So I have built for myself a series of systems that allows me to work with what I do in a way that is very systematic and it has pipelines. So the systematization and the creation of pipelines for the things that I do helps me not just streamline my time, but also just do things faster so that I have time to do other things. And then focus on results. Clients do not care how it is done. They want to see it done. At the end of the day, a lot of them will focus on the fact that it got done as opposed on the how. So yes, focus on the results. And lastly, this is all of the the tasks that I've found out. And yes, thank you for sticking with me on this episode, and I hope you learned something.